Right, guys. Hope everyone's doing wonderfully well today. Big FOMC day, so I'm expecting quite a bit of chop this morning. Looks like the market is trying to de-risk a little bit here. Sorry to hear that, YS. Mindfulness asking which way am I leaning today? Well, charts are bearish, but we're oversold in SOXX tech, so when we look at SOXX here as a whole, it is hitting a pretty big level. EMA 113 on the daily. It's a previous level that we bounced here, undercut it. We bounced here. So this is a level that definitely could yield a bounce. Obviously, we're under some significant pressure. As of now, you could still go a little bit lower on SOX. I am thinking that there is quite a bit more downside on SOX. Nevertheless, this is a potential little mini bounce spot, maybe a day or two. But of course, the problem right now the market is facing crude oil getting a very big bounce. Um, Pretty much a critical inflection point, trying to get back above the 7-day moving average here on the daily chart of crude. Could be setting up a very large inverse head and shoulders. Obviously, that hasn't triggered. Um, so heading into this meeting, with crude oil falling here over the last 3 days, I was leaning more and more bullish. But now with this big bounce in crude today, that kind of takes away some of the bullishness. I'm not saying I'm ultra bearish, but it just puts Fed Warsh in a little bit more of a pickle come 2:30. Big spot. We did have a couple earnings after hours and this morning. STX is the big one, so at least from a semiconductor memory standpoint, DRAM standpoint, you often have a high correlation rate between DRAM, which right now is flat. It was green on STX earnings, but you got a little bit of weakness in your semis. So it's going to be interesting to see if DRAM can pull semis up or if semis pull DRAM up. Obviously, semis have still been in a fade the pop environment. So we'll see where we're at in terms of market price action. S&P 500 right now is below the 7-day moving average. That's a problem. But we're sitting right at the apex of the wedge. And you can see QQQ volume is starting to increase here. A little bit more oversold than the S&P 500, which is why I think that there could be a bounce. Maybe we see that rotation back into tech where they sell everything else. IWM still holding decently well off that 50-day. Yes, it did get a positive close above the 7-day. Right now, it's currently underneath it. Let's look at yields this morning. 10-year yields still grinding higher. US 2-year yields still grinding higher. Very, very strong. Other names that report this morning, SoFi, great earnings from SoFi. The reaction is not really the greatest. It's seeing some sell side pressure technically. SoFi is breaking down a little bit. VRT earnings are okay. Stock down. Procter Gamble gapping down. LMND gapping down. APH stock is gapping up. Let's look at ADP. ADP not doing too much here. GE Healthcare, nice gap up. Boston Scientific, BSX. Wow, this stock has been pummeled. Holy moly. Look at that. That's like PayPal 2.0. Sheesh. That's crazy. Look at General Dynamics. General Dynamics continues to be a monster. Paradigm seeing some nice buy side pressure. Big gap up there for Teradyne. Genrac seeing some strength. GNRC. This is one that could squeeze a little bit higher. I'd say we could squeeze to, let me look at the weekly chart here. Yeah, that weekly bar's around 218-ish. So I would say that you can easily push to 218. Ford getting a little bit of a gap up itself. How's Rivian doing? Rivian's flat. Tesla. Tickers. CAR, CAR. Big gap down. No short squeeze there. Yikes. CLVT, Clarivate. Under some pressure as well. Nasty. Skyworks is down. SWKS, big gap down there. You got KLAC, which is weighing in on your semis. This is the big one weighing in on the semis right now. KLAC. That's a pretty nice spot there for a long. I would say even if you undercut these pivots. KLAC. Star Group. Very nice bounce in the market here. 4 minutes till the open, guys. 4 minutes till the open. Let's get ready to rock. We flip everything back to the regular trading hours. I still think that just be careful with today. We got a lot of chop that can happen, but I am still leaning towards a bit of a bounce, even though we're setting up slightly bearish. So Micron is getting a really big push here, guys. That's going to be positive for semis. Should be. Semis are still red here, but they're clawing themselves back here intraday. So let's see what happens with these semis. Let's see what happens with the SOXX SPY under pressure. All right, markets are open sesame. Nice gap down so far. Micron's green, Tesla's green, Microsoft, Apple flat to green, Google's green, Nvidia under pressure, QQQ showing a little bit more relative strength as opposed to SPY and IWM. Interesting. Right now we're just chopping inside of a bearish wedge on SPY. It's a bearish wedge chop. A big push on IGV, guys. IGV starting to potentially break out here, showing positive structure. Names like MNDY showing strength. ServiceNow pushing, CRM acting well. SoFi really struggling. That's nasty. Snowflake pushing. So we're getting some decent buy side pressure. Crude oil stuck at that 7-day moving average. Plug power looks interesting here, guys. Definitely a chance that the market gets a dip buy here, guys. Don't sleep on it. Very weird area. DRAM looking good, going for a pre-market high breakout. DRAM, the DRAM ETF, is pumping. Looking pretty strong here, guys. Nice bounce on your semis. Nice bounce in the market. Look at KLAC, guys, making a big comeback. This was what was weighing down your semis. You're seeing Micron pushing up 2.5, Intel up 1.3, DRAM at the highs. We're getting a big rip here. Palantir's green, Oracle's flat. Marvell's green. Keep your eye on Plug Power. Very oversold. Could get a nice relief bounce intraday. It's going from red to green. Nokia is still struggling a touch here. IGV is trying to break here. So right now we have the QQQ green, SPY and IWM are lagging. SOXX is pushing. Crude oil still up 11% or 6.8%. All your mags are starting to roll over here except for Google. Nvidia is firming up. Nice push on SOXX. SOXX is ripping. We'll see if it's going to push the S&P green. Tesla still negative. Meta flat to negative. SpaceX down. Amazon down about 0.5%. Microsoft down about 0.5%. Apple slightly green but getting faded from the highs. Google still green. Nvidia still flat to red but getting a bounce off the lows. Nokia still struggling. SOXX is getting an initial fade here. DRAM is getting faded here. SPY still looking weak. IGV starting to come in a little bit. You're staying short the QQQ. So SPY looks like the better short today as opposed to Qs. Qs are leading still over SPY. SPY, I think, is going to see more downside pressure due to the oil spike today. So that's going to put pressure on the transportation stocks, the miners. So I feel like SPY is the better short as opposed to the Qs. Qs are structurally looking a little bit more sound. So just keep that in mind. You know, oil is definitely a greater impact on your industrials, transports, so on and so forth. But semis did roll back to the negative side. SOXX back to the gutter. You're seeing quite a few IGV stocks starting to roll over as well. Microsoft down, GoDaddy, ServiceNow, CRM is still green. Intel, Marvell still holding green. Those are your semi plays. S&P looking nasty though. DRAM getting rejected. STX seeing some sell side pressure. Micron. That was a big fade on Micron. That's just dirty. Yikes. Micron got absolutely smoked. Oof. DRAM starting to lose momentum. Getting quite a bit of red on the screen out there. Let's see, what do we got? Ford still strong, SoFi down 9%. That's nasty. Bloom Energy, that's still green. Neo's having a nice day. NIO up 5%. Yeah, Spy to me does look weaker. I agree. It's on Spy again. Google ripping, Apple still strong. Meta's green, Intel still green, while AMD Micron struggling. Tesla down 0.5%, SpaceX down 2.2, Amazon down 0.63, Microsoft down 0.7. IGV tried breaking out there, but it's looking pretty weak. Healthcare is still green. Staples are mixed across the board. This is to be expected. One nasty chop day. Most likely gonna chop us all up. Probably best to take like a straddle or strangle. Need a flush before a chop? I know you would favor a big move and then a chop, right? I thought they were going to give us a little bit of a pump and then a dump back down. But we're still inside this bearish range on SPY. This is all bearish consolidation. You know, the fact that we broke out of this high pivot, failed to keep it, we keep running into this resistance zone, so SPY's not really liking. Let's look at the Qs here. Q daily still underneath that EMA, coming into that previous gap fill. You are sitting on 4-hour chart support right now for the Qs and just underneath daily. So they may chop us between 675 and 677 here. We'll see. VIX is still up 3.3%, 2-year yield of 0.63. Bitcoin gaining some traction this morning, back above 64,000, up 0.8%. Silver's flat to negative, gold's flat to negative, or actually down by 0.36. Natural gas bouncing a little bit, up 1%. Crude oil still up 6.7, flagging intraday. Your US dollar's flat to green. SOXX is flat to green. IWM's flat to red. SPY's flat to red. QQQ still leading the charge. Google still green. Google and Apple are fighting for the strongest mag position today. I'm still keeping my eye on the DRAM ETF. What I'm seeing here is Intel, guys. INTC, we all know that's Trump's semiconductor company. That one's showing some positive structure this morning. Plug power, guys. PLUG getting a nice little pop here, guys. Keep your eye on plug. That's one that I'm in already. Plug, plug, plug. IGV, guys, is still trying to flag on the hourly. Still looking somewhat okay. Crude oil, though, is trying to pop up a little bit here. Going for a pre-market high breakout. That's a problem. Right away, you can see SPY reacting pretty negatively. Pepsi making a big intraday push. Ticker PEP, Pepsi pushing. Coca-Cola just absolutely ripped face. Whew, wow, Coke new all-time high. Sheesh. That's crazy strong. McDonald's is probably going to catch a bid in sympathy to Coca-Cola ripping, you'd think. Oracle still struggling. Oof, SPY starting to lose pre-market low. This is very bearish. Not a good sign. SOXX getting absolutely hammered off of that pre-market high. That's very bearish. All right, YS, you might be right. Now QQQ is leading SPY to the downside. Qs were your relatively strong indice. Now they're lagging. IWM's leading, although all three indices are negative and looking nasty. Yikes. Pray it's right. Yeah, we'll see. It's still a very choppy day. Very choppy day. Today, this morning session, the shenanigans designed to take your money before Fed. I feel like there's going to be a pretty big move today on FOMC. So I would not be surprised if they pin and burn the theta. Plug power getting slapped again. Did make a new intraday high. It's starting to get above that 7-day moving average. It is above the 7-day. SPY still struggling. IGV still trying to push a little bit higher here intraday. IGV's got a beautiful pattern. Software can break out of this inverted head and shoulders. Bull flag on the hourly. It could run hard. Sheesh. All right, all mags are negative again except for Apple Dapple. Apple continuing to charge. Anyone shorting Apple Dapple yet? Let me look at this Apple chart. Is Apple the largest company in the world now? Might be. Did they retake their throne? 5.02 trillion for Apple Dapple. I believe they are the biggest. Yeah, Nvidia is 4 point well bigger. Apple's crushing it. Apple is crushing it. Well over 5 trill. She's a beast. She's a beast. SPY making a move to the downside. DRAM falling. Yeah, damn Apple. Apple's crazy strong. Crazy. See sell side pressure hitting the tape again. QQQ now down 0.5%. Nvidia is rolling here, down 1.23. Apple's still charging. Microsoft, Amazon down about 0.9%, very heavy. Google's down by 0.3. SpaceX down 3%. Meta down 0.8. Tesla down 0.5. Micron down 1.6 after it was looking strong, getting faded. AMD now down 2.4. Intel down 1. Netflix is flat to negative. IGV is still trying to show some positivity on the charts. It's still green. It is still green. SOXX is getting murked, annihilated. Wow, this market's rolling heavy. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty. You sell off before they pump it up. Plug power still looking interesting during that whole market sell-off. Plug is actually still trying to grind a little bit higher here, and it's actually green. So if the market stages a bit of a bounce, plug power should be a beneficiary off this level. Very oversold down here. And it is a big daily chart support level. Undercutting a gap window extended from the 7-day on the downside. Come on, you can do it, plug. SOXX is at that double bottom. SOXX is falling hard and fast. Sheesh. You sold everything? Nice job. S&P 500 still getting murked here, coming into your first support zone. Things are looking heavy though. SOXX is looking like it's going to undercut this pivot, guys. I would say that would be your buy spot for a bit of an aggressive bounce. Wow, DRAM breaking structure. Semis are getting wrecked again. QQQ down 0.8% already. SPY down 0.53. Crude oil at the highs. Dixie's pulling back here. This could be a very nasty break on your S&P 500, guys. We're looking heavy here. If this bear flag breaks, you got a head and shoulders mixed in with the bear flag. We're looking at, it's crazy. So there's still pockets of strength in your software, guys. ServiceNow absolutely ripping up 2.1. GoDaddy up 1.1. CRM up 2.1. Microsoft trying to claw itself back. You got strength in 5.9 FIVN. I like that stock a lot. Monday, MNDY, absolutely loving life today. So you still got quite a bit of positivity in certain software names. Not all software, but a decent chunk of them. Look at ServiceNow. What a ripper. There's definitely a lot of chart support here on Qs, guys. Not a bad spot to try to take it. Still a big spot here, guys, for SOXX. You did hit that double bottom pivot. I'd be surprised if we don't try to bounce and hold here, but just never know. Crude oil's up 7%. We got an FOMC de-risking day. Still a big level in my opinion. Big spot. Here's short again. So far in the market, the DRAM ETF is getting a nice little bit off the lows, defending opening range low. SOX is trying to bounce off of prior day low, double bottom. SPY still looks troublesome here. IWM looking weak. Apple's really not much pushing here in mega cap tech land. Everything's down except for Apple, and Nvidia is draining down 2% here. Hopefully Jensen Wong sold a lot of his stock up there because Nvidia is no longer the behemoth of the market. Dash, good morning, Dash. Grabbed a few calls for SPY. Nice, good luck. What are you in? At the money, out of the money, in the money? You're going for a gap fill, 740s? 740 is a massive level for SPY. Bearish underneath it, bullish above it. IGV going for a pre-market high breakout, so tech is gaining a little bit more traction, software especially. Out of the money. Good luck. Good luck. Nice bounce across the market, guys. Even plug power, guys, like I said, starting to push up. IGV breaking out a pre-market high. Market's looking a little bit better here. If SOXX can gain some traction here. You got Oracle making a bit of a bullish reversal, so more software starting to join the party. Crude oil seeing a little bit of sell side. SPY still lagging. Now you have QQQ outperforming SPY. Both are still down, but Qs are relatively slightly stronger. IWM is still beating out both SPY and Qs for the time being. All right, markets are getting hit right back down. Right back down. It's crazy. Right away, right back down. Yeesh. Plug power still looking somewhat strong, up 1.79. So again, some of these relatively strong stocks, if the market can bounce here, you're gonna catch a bit of a bid, but oof, nasty, just nasty sell pressure. Give me a sec here, guys. Flush, flush, flush. I don't know. I still feel like the big move should happen on FOMC, but definitely seeing quite a bit of selling here to start the session. Lots of selling. Semiconductors are still trying to defend that prior day low. IGV is getting rejected pretty hard here off of its prior day high. You have AppLovin breaking structure, Oracle getting hit back down. Comes more sell side. IGV is starting to get rejected pretty hard here. Like a waterfall. Holy shit, SPY is breaking structure here. Sweeping lows. Sweeping lows. How low can we go? Gap fill? It's a really weird one. We got an intraday gap around 731. Oof, this is looking horrid. Downright nasty. We'll see if this is a big liquidity sweep of the lows. It was a big sell very early. Not the usual. Nice job, YS. You made 3.7K. Beautiful. Happy to hear. Usually we don't get this big of a move this early in the tape. There's a lot of weakness out there. So right now we got SOXX down 2.39%. IWM is leading the charge to the downside, down almost 1%. QQQ almost down 1%. SPY is holding up relatively better than the Qs and Russell. Apple getting slightly faded from the highs, but still green. IGV, nasty sell side pressure in software now. That's getting hit pretty hard. Holding horses, yeah. Yeah, I haven't taken a trade yet today. I'm just sitting in a couple swings. Hold your horse and wait, yeah. Yeah, they should probably give us a bounce back up. A lot of people are now chasing price here. This is where they're going to chop us most likely. Not surprise me. Plug Power's still trying to push up a little bit. Come on, Plug. Give us a squeeze. Give us a squeeze. Nice bounce on the S&P. Right, so across the board, we got the IWM down 0.9%. Small caps are lagging today. SPY up down 0.63. It's your strongest indice, although it's negative. QQQ still down 0.86. Nvidia looking nasty, down 2.4%. Google's flat to green. Apple still up 0.47. Microsoft is getting a little bit of a buy program, trying to make a red to green reversal. Almost green, Microsoft. Amazon still down 1.2%, looking weak. SpaceX getting a little bit of a buy program off the lows, but still down 2.2. Meta down 0.6. Tesla down 0.7. Micron, AMD, Intel all still drilling. AMD is your big weakness today. In terms of sectors, guys, majority of the sectors are red on the session. XLE is green, staples are green, utilities and healthcare are green. So you can already see capital is positioned defensively today. Financials are weak, down 0.9. Communications down 0.8. Materials down 1.17. Industrials getting hammered today, down 1.76. XLK Tech down 1.3. Real estate is down 0.28. Consumer discretionary down 0.2. Not a lot of positivity in the tape. New lows for SOXX. Wait for 671.50, then short again. Holy, look at the drill. Gnarly price action. Nvidia now down 3%. SpaceX down 3. Micron, AMD, Intel drilling. DRAM ETF drilling. STX still green, but coming in hard from the highs. Yeah, that was a big sell. That was your waterfall there. Micron looks like it wants to go to that gap window, or sorry, gap fill. Gap fill is still quite a bit away, $30 away. 750 area, 751, 752. Poof. That's getting gnarly. Gnarly, gnarly, gnarly. I don't know. Anyone going long here? To go long. Definitely oversold. Yeah, they've crushed it pretty hard before FOMC. It's a big move. I don't know which way. I mean, we're definitely still bearish. This is a nasty breakdown for SPY starting to set up. Obviously, they can still save it on FOMC, but SPY's looking real nasty. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Crude oil continuing to charge higher here. Micron's starting to defend its prior day low. We'll see if SOXX can get back above there. Tiny little relief bounce in SPY. Apple, Microsoft back to the green. So software's still consolidating bullishly. IGV holding steady. Hey, welcome back there, Dash. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm looking at going long this market. I'm just waiting for a little bit more data here. We got that bearish hourly close. Got the divergence. No problem. Yeah, we got a nice positive divergence building on SOXX here. I might take a long on the Qs here. I was hoping for a little bit more. Actually, this is a pretty big area, guys. I'm gonna take a lotto on the Qs. Let me just pull up my chain here. Should I take a 0 day? They're gonna burn me out here. Wow, man. These calls for the Qs are still expensive. Yeah, look at that IV. 32% on the Qs is pretty high for FOMC. 'Cause I'm in QQQ calls, 673. Stop loss is gonna be $1.80. These SOXX is still drilling. Tough for SOXX to do anything. Come on, don't drill me down. Save it. Save me. Save me. Shit. They're trying to stop me out already. Fuck. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna still hold these a little bit longer. They just fucking wrecked me. Sheesh. Spy's just getting murdered. Hasn't been one green candle on the 10-minute chart. Not one green candle. Crazy. Come on, Q's. Get your big butt up there. Alright, I'm still in these QQQ calls. Come on, Q's. Give us a little bit of an uptick. Crude oil's still strong. Dixie's rolling over though. Price action's just dirty. Dirty. Nvidia now down 3%. QQs are down 1.3. IWM down 1.3. SOX down over 4. I'm giving these cues a little bit more wiggle room, guys, since we haven't had one single green candle yet. Still thinking we should see a little bit of a bounce, but nasty selling. A little bit of an uptick. SOXX is trying to get a little bit of a bid, guys. And still riding these QQQs, 673 calls. Should have got stopped out, but gave a little bit more wriggle room. Still down about $20 a contract. Small bid here, guys, in the tape. All right, so calls are starting to wake up here. I'm long right now, so I'm looking for a bit of a bid bounce. And it's been a tough tape. SOXX is trying to get a little bit of a bid, but still very weak. Yeah, the market's super weak. Dixie did get a small pop there as crude oil is also pushing up 7.87% here. Wow. Bit of buy side pressure, but not much. Very weak still. Yeah, they might just stall us and chop us here into FOMC. That's a strong reality. Strong chance of that. You know, SOXX aren't really bouncing, so that's not going to do anything for tech. You're trying along on the IWM. Good luck. These semis just don't want to bounce now. They condition people to buy every dip in the semis, but struggling now. IGV is really the only thing that looks constructive here. It's trying to push a little bit higher. Service now still ripping. GoDaddy green, CRM, Microsoft all green. Hmm, interesting. Whoa. A little bit of a bounce starting, guys. I'm still sitting in these QQQ 673s. We're green now on the trade, but looking for more. Come on, Qs. Nice little grind higher, guys. Come on, Qs. Keep going. Nvidia is still trying to get back above 193. Small buy program on SOXX. I'll be right back, guys. So we do have oil slightly coming in, still up 7.7. Dixie still above its OR high, trying to come in slightly. Nvidia is catching a little bit of bid. Same thing with semis. Semis are still below their prior day low, but if they can recapture prior day low, why did I lose chat here? What is going on? YouTube chat signed me out there. Nevertheless, we are seeing a little bit of a pop here. Buy side accumulation. Semis are still trying to get through their prior day low. 480.50 is a big critical area for your SOXX. SPY still underneath its prior day low, while Qs are trying to defend and get above their prior day low. There we go. Come on, give us a pump. Give us a pump. Just a little one or a big one. QQQ right back down. No softening in crude oil. Still a little extended intraday overbought. We're getting the first intraday sell signal in the shorter time frames for crude. IWM still lagging, SOXX obviously lagging. I'm still just sitting in these QQQ 673 calls. Does look like we're getting a little bit of buy side pressure. IGV's looking to recapture pre-market high. It's actually piercing it right now, so that's adding a bit of strength into the mix. You still need semis to bounce here if these indices want to have any chance at making somewhat of a bullish reversal. Market's not going to go anywhere without the semis. But nice little reversal back up on IGV. IGV pushing, look what appears for the highs, possible inverse head and shoulders on IGV intraday chart. So that's looking pretty good still. Still got service now pushing, CRM looking strong. Monday, MNDY 5.9. Nasty rejection again on SOXX. Excuse me. Yeah, the London close just happened, guys, so you may get a small pop. Usually London close at 11:30 puts bearish price action on the tape, so that's now out of the way. You're also getting oil pulling back slightly here. Still very, very strong, but nice hourly reversal candle forming for WTI, so it might help the indices. But yeah, we're looking nasty across the board. There's not much positivity right now. They're just going to be pretty much keeping us in this bearish range. Other than that, pretty much everything's bearish except for a couple healthcare names and software names, CRM ServiceNow, Microsoft, IGV. Interesting to see Google and Google and Microsoft going green. Apple's actually pulled back all the way. Remember, Apple's that typically that inverse stock to the market recently, and Apple's given up pretty much all of its gains, now turned red. So maybe we are going to get a short-term pop here. We'll certainly find out. It's slow for me. I'll be back later. Um, again, don't know how much more action we're going to get until FOMC. Seems like the market makers are just going to keep us stuck here. So have some lunch, take a break. But unless we get some sort of geopolitical headlines, it doesn't look like we're going to move too much. All right, we'll see you guys in a bit.